And we're going live now. Hey everyone, it's Wednesday. Welcome back to Recall Knowledge presents Outlaws of Alkenstar, a show where Pathfinder enthusiasts play through your favorite adventure path. I am your humble GM Steve, and I am joined by Ricardo, Richard, and Tommy. Go ahead, everyone, and say howdy, Outlaws.
Man, so many episodes on.
Howdy, Outlaws.
Next, you say Ninna.
Right, my brain wanted to say Ninna. We'll get to that, but everyone joining us for the first time, welcome. Anyone who's been with us before, welcome back. We're happy with you again. And as Tommy brought up, you might notice we're missing someone tonight. We're absent Ninna in tonight's game. She did have a family emergency that made her unavailable to play tonight. And given that we were already off for the last 2 weeks, we kind of opted and made the tough choice and the tough call to go ahead and play without her tonight, at least for this episode. You're missed. Hopefully she watches this later on YouTube and catches all the what she missed in the story. I also do apologize because 2 weeks ago we were supposed to have a stream. We weren't scheduled to be off, but we had to take the night off mostly because my wife broke her arm. She plays roller derby, and right at the start of her practice, she slipped and fell before they even started anything that has to do with roller derby, and she broke her elbow, dislocated it, and chipped a bone. And so I had to take off and take her to the hospital and emergency room and get that taken care of. So even if we were streaming, it would have been a very short night. So that led us to having 2 weeks off, and we couldn't go a third week without you guys. We missed this game. I couldn't go without you guys. And I'll take a diet version of our session without Ninna than going cold turkey.
Seeing as how you're still alive, Steve, I take it you didn't make any jokes about reflex saves with your wife.
I did not. You know what? I feel bad. I didn't even think about making a reflex save joke. Why didn't I? I'm losing.
Probably
my
better
touch.
for your health and well-being that you didn't.
Yeah.
That's true. The worst part is it was their last practice of the entire year because they go on a year-end break. So she just had to make it through one more practice and she would have been fine.
That was a good pun. Year-end break.
Year-end break. That's right. That is the pun. That's what I've been saying. So year-end break. She does not like that one either.
Maybe you should have gone with reflex save. It's less
I
of a
should have gone
pun.
with reflex save. But yeah, overall, I am sure most of you guys as well have been chomping at the bit to play some Pathfinder, so we're going to forge ahead as best we can and try to have a fun session. Let's do Anita's in chat, right? Anita's in chat.
Yeah, get this in chat. Ninna, when you watch this, I promise I won't let everybody get the party killed, so you have to come back to meet your 3 new best friends. But that would be funny.
Yeah,
Anita comes out of her cabin, just where the hell is everybody?
Hi, I'm your new best friend. I don't know what I am. I'm a character in Tommy's character vault. And they're apparently more manic than Saruk.
A little bit. So, since we're excited to get playing tonight, let's move on to our announcements. First up, our sponsor for the night, none other than Molten Hosting.
So hot.
So
Yeah, and
Just like California right now. Apparently you guys have 60-degree weather and it's below freezing where I am.
amazing.
It was
cold.
in the 50s today. Thank you very much. 59.
Yeah, we could have froze to death.
Oh, you could have. Truly.
I'm wearing a sweatshirt. That's how cold it was. Yeah, we don't. Concept of weather in Southern California is not something we will ever understand. But we are officially coming into the holiday season. That time of year when I mean all the stores skip Thanksgiving, went straight to Christmas. I noticed a month ago, but we are getting into the holiday spirit and the holiday season, and along with that, all of your holiday movie favorites, all the classics. Well, Molten Hosting is full of it as well, the spirit of the season that is, and they too are releasing a new holiday show for Christmas. It's going to be actually a full animated classic, kind of in the vein of the old school Grinch. I got to see a little bit of it. It's pretty cool. It's going to bring a lot of cheer into your lives, and it's going to make eating dinner with that one uncle just a little bit more bearable. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you're that uncle.
Oh, God.
So luckily, we were able to get our hands on a scene from it. The animation's not done yet. It's still being worked on. So for now, it's just an audio kind of play, but it should give you a sense of what the show is all about. So we are very proud to be given the chance for the world premiere of Molten hosting How Muskie Stole Christmas. Let's roll the clip. This holiday, forget the usual humbug villains of the season. The Grinch, Ebenezer Scrooge, Hans Gruber. Instead, welcome the new man you all love to hate, Alan Muskie.
I don't care that it's Christmas Eve. Don't try to give me that made-up Hanukkah nonsense. I need this done by tomorrow morning, or else you can kiss your jobs goodbye.
But sir, Mr. Muskie, I've been with you for months now. I didn't leave when you sold green check marks to the Chinese military to impersonate U.S. officials. God damn it. I didn't leave when you demanded I convert all of my code to punch cards for review, and I was behind you when you cut my pay by half and doubled my hours in the name of profit. But this? It's just a piece of paper that says free speech. How am I supposed to even do this?
Enough, peasant. It's hard enough being the CEO of 3 companies. Do you think my genius can solve all the problems around here? Figure it out.
Can you at least tell me why there's an asterisk at the end of free speech?
Oh, yeah, that's the paywall to access the feature. Make it cost $420.69. Lols.
All right, sir. I just need to go home and tell my son Santa isn't coming this year.
Sounds good, Bob, Rob, Jake, whatever your name is. But if he's looking for a job, I have some openings back in Africa for her. You still have tiny hands, right?
Oh, this is going to be the worst Christmas ever. How am I ever going to break this to Henry? He's going to be crushed. Henry! Are you here? Dad is home.
Dad! Merry Christmas! That asshole kept you late again. I don't know why you keep putting up with this shit. You should have quit months ago.
Oh, you just have to understand his vision and genius. But, son, I have some bad news.
Don't tell me. Another batshit assignment.
Don't speak about Mr. Muskie like that. You know he pays all the bills around here.
Dad, our electricity was shut off last week for non-payment. And they're threatening to do the same with our water if we don't pay by the end of the month.
I know, but we can't let all those crazy leftists stifle what's important here. And that's, we all need to make cutbacks so the rich and powerful have a platform to enact free speech on.
Damn it, Dad. Is he on his free speech shit again?
Yes, and I have to deliver by tomorrow morning or else I'm out of a job.
Dad, listen to me. I don't care about you losing your job. I don't care about this house in Silicon Valley. I don't care about the presents under the tree. I only care about one thing.
Oh, Henry. Do you really mean that?
That's right, Dad. All I care about is our Pathfinder campaign on Foundry VTT.
That's the best gift a son could ever give his dad, but I can't. My laptop with the installation is still at work. Muskie keeps it chained to my desk. We can't play, son.
That's okay, Dad. Here, open this present I put for you under the tree.
Oh, it's my phone. It's the boss. It's text messages about how this sketch is so funny. I have to take this. Hello? Mr. Muskie?
Yeah, Janet, or what's her name? Harold Batts, right? Where are you? I came down for your hourly code review and you're not here. That's 10 emeralds off your progress report.
Oh, I told you I had to go home and...
Never mind. Scrap whatever you're working on. We've got a new idea. Fresh off the tweeters. 2 words. Global megaphone platform. Can you whip something up? I need it by the morning. Andrew, put it this way. You do this, or you'll never be able to work with me, for me, even around me again.
Dad, allow me. Hello, Mr. Muskie.
Hello, who is this? You're not one of my children, right? How many are you now? 3 dozen? 4? I stopped counting like 13 ago. You know Genghis Khan can trace his lineage
2 words.
all the way back.
Go fuck yourself. Go on, Dad, open it up.
Is that what I think it is? A subscription to Molten Hosting? Now we can run our games in the cloud, free from the oppression of maniacal billionaires. Oh, Henry, it really is a Christmas miracle. But how could you ever afford this?
It was easy, Dad. Thanks to my friends at Recall Knowledge, I was able to get an entire month of service for free. All I had to do was use the code Recall Knowledge.
One word.
At checkout.
Now, if only we had electricity, we could play tonight. Give me some of those worthless Tesla stock certificates. We need something to burn to stay alive.
Oh, what an amazing classic to put in the holiday movie rotation. I am sure this will be playing non-stop on TBS for years and years to come. But anyways, I can stop this music before I go crazy. Thank you, Molten Hosting, for providing us the chance to play it first for you here on our show. Can't you just see the animation style? The Musk coming in. Boom, 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 boom. I mean...
2 words.
I'm just watching your all's Twitter where you added Elon Musk about this episode. I'm waiting for the hammer to come down.
We're going to be probably shut down here soon, so we probably should get playing before it's too late. But big thanks to Molten Hosting for sponsoring the show. In case you're not aware, Molten Hosting provides your Foundry VTT hosting in the cloud, so your game always runs smooth and it's always accessible even if your boss keeps you chained to your desk and won't let you bring your computer home. Each tier of service comes with backup options. It's easy to access all your files, and your server can be up and running in just a few minutes. Make sure to go check them out at moltenhosting.com. It's the service we use on the show, and we urge you to use them for your game too. Remember, at checkout, use the code Recall Knowledge. One word.
One word.
At checkout, and you can get your first month of service for free. Thanks, Molten Hosting. Well, the reason we say like the one word thing, in case it's not clear, don't put a space when you type Recall Knowledge in the box. It's one word.
One word.
If you want the free code. Wait a minute. I just got something printed and handed to me. Our lawyers just passed me a note, because we keep lawyers on retainer under my desk. They want us to point out that Alan Muskie, the CEO of Tweeter, is 100% absolutely a fictional character and is no way intended to mislead people into confusing them with any other people out there, be them real or imagined. And any similarities are purely a coincidence.
Wow, you ever wish you'd read a little bit forward in the script? So here you could be like, it's really funny that you added Elon Musk on Twitter about this. Foresight.
Oh, that's weird. My finger must have slipped when I wrote the tweet. Weird.
Yeah.
One other thing about Molten Hosting, which is really cool, we did the charity stream, I guess it was last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago. I think it was 2 Saturdays ago. Molten Hosting came in and actually donated $1,000 to the charity, to the Extra Life charity. And he says, the community's been so good to him, he wanted to give back. So that's the kind of like cool service and person that you're supporting when you go in and support Molten Hosting. So consider them. They're a good choice for sure. All right. Second announcement.
They probably definitely didn't own any sort of emerald mines anywhere in the world.
Yeah, nothing to do with the part that it's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, of course not. That would be crazy.
Watching for Versace hovercraft.
It's weird that you'd bring that up in like a completely.
I know, it's just
non-sequitur sort of way.
completely random, right?
Yeah, it's whack.
Yeah. Huh. I also haven't heard about any molten hosting servers blowing up and burning people alive.
Huh?
What about eating their own fingers? I mean,
What?
Which it's a miracle because they are so hot.
They're really hot. It would make sense that the server would combust in the flames. They just don't. Moving on. Before we get sued, second announcement. Make sure to check us out on A House Divided. This is a special presentation of Recall Knowledge, a 3-part event which takes place exploring the mysterious Raven Tree Estate. This is a 5e adventure. It's an exclusive Foundry module created by the team behind the Foundry app itself. And it's created from the ground up to be a fun digital experience that takes advantage of the space for sure. It's got custom artwork. It's got custom battle maps. It's got custom music. It's got landing pages and handouts galore. It's really a cool experience that they put together. The only downside is it's 5e, but no, nobody's perfect. Episode 2 was supposed to take place this Friday on December 2nd, but unfortunately with Ninna out this week, we're going to push that back to December 9th and 16th, so they'll be just kind of shifted back 1 week each for the last 2 episodes. But if you tune in to watch it live, you can even have a chance to win a copy of that module and the official dice set that goes with it, thanks to the sponsors of the show. So what you're going to want, if you're watching this live when it goes on YouTube, it's going to be tonight, the 16th, right? December 9th. It'll be December 9th. Go tonight, follow us on Twitch, watch live, and enter our contest because you'll want a copy of the module too.
The dice are really pretty.
The dice are very pretty. The VODs will be coming in December, so if you're not a live, if you're not a live Twitch kind of person, just go check it out when it comes out sometime this holiday season, alongside A Musky Christmas. Also, I was noticing today, guys, we're really close. We're closing in on our 2,000 YouTube subscribers. We did a poll of our YouTube community like a month or two back. For the 2,000 subscribers, they wanted us to do a live stream on YouTube with that community as a way to interact with them in a more timely fashion. So if you're watching this and you're on YouTube and you have a fun idea for what we should do for our fans, our YouTube fans stream, let us know in the comments below and we'll make it happen.
Within reason.
Anything goes.
No request is too strange.
Even that one you're thinking about right now.
Oh God. Y'all want to get back to that airship that's been taking 2 weeks to take off? This seems like a great segue to an airship that's been taking 2 weeks to take off.
That's going to do it for all of our announcements tonight. Viewers, please go ahead, sit back, relax. But players, let's jump into tonight's episode 5 of Outlaws of Alkenstar, Cradle of Quartz, written by Scott D. Young. Yeah. Our camera fades in high over the skies of Alkenstar, a thick layer of smog still permeating, making it hard to see. As we fade down away from Smokeside towards the optimistic side, known as Skyside, the camera brings into focus an airfield, or at least a collection of ramshackle taverns and inns, many having various sizes and shapes of airships moored above them. In this case, we're floating in on one particular skyship, one who's seen better days, one that's been out of commission for some while, and one in which our outlaws have commissioned a trip outside the safe confines of Alkenstar into the uninhabitable, dangerous region known as the Spellscar Desert. Here we find the Second Kiss, a ship belonging to an old, out of commission airship pilot known as Farrah Winslow, who recently was talked out of retirement. The only pilot in Alkenstar crazy enough to even take this gig. And we see her airship over her bar. The airship itself, we're talking a giant blimp with a small cabin sort of bolted right on the bottom. The whole thing is like hundreds of feet from front to back. These large platform has been leveled, like pulled out from the ship all the way to the ground with a sort of folding out loading ramp. And we see, coming into focus, are 4 outlaws with their luggage ready to go. And in the back, we see a motley crew of passengers, which you guys have recruited because Farrah's condition was she wants to be a real pilot again, and she wants 4 paying customers on her ship. And that is what you brought her. You brought 4 paying customers. You brought the charming Vashon Gattleby.
The best.
The best, right? There was Hal's friend, Solessa Torita. She was a half-orc shield marshal who's now retired with her long rifle and her desire to hunt big game out in the Spellscar Desert. She's tagging along for some adventure and potentially some rekindled companionship. We'll see. And then last but not least, you traded up the toxic couple for the merchant siblings, Harem and Estery. They're like, right now they're busy loading like tons of cargo. They have like all these like trunks full of textiles, and they're like loading them up the ship, and you watch as it's obviously too heavy for these sort of like people, but they're loading it onto the ship along with the help from some of the crew. And that's where we fade in. That's going on in the background. People are loading in the ship. You guys are pretty much right about to get on, unless there's anything else you'd like to take care of before August starting your last minute shopping. The camera is on you 3, with Ninna sort of just slightly out of focus in the back.
Look at her. She's already running into the ship. She's all excited to get on board.
Surprising no one. Wait, oh, there she goes. Classic.
It's fine. We'll talk to her later, once we get on board. I'm sure she'll be fine.
She won't hyperfixate, and we won't just lose her forever in the bowels of the ship. I'm gonna go find my bunk. And I imagine Saruk is carrying, other than the stuff that they need to do the things that they do, like very little. Like, here is bedroll, here is pillow, and then like thrown on top of the pack. In we go.
Got a couple boxes of chalkies.
Yeah, you do.
But what's Hal traveling like?
He looks at Ruffy. Never been out of the city, huh?
No, I mean, maybe outside the walls a bit, but never far. Never far. How high up do you think this thing goes?
Probably those towers on the sky side.
Fingers.
Yep. Probably get about that high. I see him when I was out there in Manwaste. You'd see him go by back and forth every once in a while. Hurt pretty bad if you fell from there.
You don't know the half of it.
Up on the door of the ship, leaning out, you see Farah we're up in 5. Everyone get on. We got orientation before we get out of here.
Joy of joys.
Orientation? For what? I guess we better get on. And I'll follow Hal onto the ship.
So there's a bit of a slow going here because in front of you guys, there's a little bit of a bottleneck as Wybert attempts to make his way into the ship. And Wybert is a very large robot. And this ship is not made for large things. So you see Wybert sort of scraping through the door, getting jammed. Everyone's trying to pull him through. The wood sort of splinters and buckles around bits of Wybert as he comes in. It is definitely not a wide amount of space for such a large companion. But he's able to get in and sort of everyone flows. Welcome to the interior of the second kiss. So the way it works, right? This sort of staircase here that I'm pinging, this is sort of the loading dock that goes in and out, goes down from the ship back to the ground. Once you guys are all on, they sort of pull up the sort of loading grate and close the door and lock and seal. And then you guys find yourself in a dining cabin. There's plenty of tables, bits of cups and dishes that have been put out with light snacks. And Farah motions for each one of you guys to sort of take a seat, and you sort of assemble in the room. And she wants to take a minute to run her orientation here. So she'll give you a minute to settle in, and at least you can see what the inside of the ship looks like.
I also brought one of the other bottles of booze that we found in the brewery.
Of course. She'll start by just saying, welcome to your next adventure. This is the second kiss, and I am the fair Farah. I guess she has more of a raspy voice, doesn't she? I am the fair Farah Winslow. But this is our captain, Farah, the fair Farah Winslow. She is a dwarven tiefling. She's got mysterious look. She's always got a lit cigarette in her mouth, broken horn. She welcomes you all and would like to remind you to stay within the 2 cabins that you have access to. This is the main cabin. She points to this staircase leading up, and there's a staircase in the back where Wybert is sort of wedged in the back of the room. That staircase, both of those will take you up to where your cabins are. You guys will have to figure out your own sleeping arrangements between you guys and all the passengers. But she takes a minute to sort of introduce her crew. So she's the captain, Farah Winslow. She motions to the side of her, and there is this handsome man dressed to the nines in traditional Alkenstar garb. This here is Dezen Drakes, my co-captain, second in command. If I'm not around, you do what he says. He'll keep us safe. Ain't that right? And you can tell Dezen just by his body language. He's just kind of whatever, man. Hey, guys, welcome to the second kiss. We're going to have a great time. And she's yeah. Cuts him off. And he kind of shuts up. Over here, this is my my engineering crew. And you see these 2 goblins kind of pop out. This one's Gebben. That one's Nulby. And then they're hi! I'm Gebben! I'm gonna keep you up and running! We ain't going down as long as I'm in command, but don't listen to my half-sister over here! And she's why you knucklehead? And she grabs him and she rubs her hand on his head. She's I'll be the one saving your skin when he's trying to crash this damn ship. We'll be up in the cabins. We'll be in the restricted area. Employees only. Don't come through unless you want to get your arms ripped off. You can look and see that they are covered in bandages. And, one of them has a prosthetic arm. If you wish to stay alive, stay out of the engine room. They sort of go back in. And Farah is like, yes. I would like to reiterate, there is no guests to be in the employee area. You are to stay confined to the first 2 levels and nothing more, unless you're escorted. Last, certainly not least, well, maybe it is his first run with us. This is my cabin mate. We're light on crew here today. He's going to be working as your bartender, your waiter. You need something? This is your man. Go ahead and introduce yourself. And then he's like, hi. You can call me Lucky. How do you do? If you need some kind of like drinks or something, just meet me on the bar in the back. And he points to the back, and you can see right out the back there is like sort of a door, and then in the back of that door there is a outdoor sort of patio set up with a full bar. He's like, that'll be my office. Feel free to stop by. And he sort of like immediately like sits back down out of view.
Why do they call him Lucky?
Farah's like, good question. Why do they call you Lucky? And he's like, I won a card game once. And that's all he says. He just leaves it at that.
Oh, we're gonna die, aren't we?
Optimism.
Not if we're lucky.
God damn it.
We're going to get loaded up here. You guys get up in the engine room, make sure everything's ready to go. Off the ground in 5 minutes. Make sure you guys get situated. Feel free to explore the cabins. And first stop, Cloudreaver Keep. Current estimated time of arrival is about 24 hours from now. So settle in. Dinner will be served in approximately sundown. Other than that, thank you for choosing the fair Farah Winslow. And she opens the door, and her and Dezen kind of go back into the engine room. Nulby and Gebin immediately like wave and head upstairs to go get the ship ready for takeoff. And all the passengers around you sort of start gathering their luggage and looking for where they're going to sleep. Battlebee's like, this is the worst fucking airship I've ever been on, and sort of stumbles upstairs.
I think I'll excuse myself to the deck. Watch the ship take off. Y'all know where to find me.
I think I might find a bunk.
Lucky's trying to squeeze by Wyber. He's like, excuse me. But luckily he's like kind of a tiny halfling, so he's able to kind of step around a robot.
Why are there so many snakes on this motherfucking airship? I'm tired of all these snakes.
I thought that would be funny. Lanks kind of Lucky Lanks comes around and sort of offers like pre-flight cocktails for anyone before takeoff if anyone would like one. He's sort of going around just offering them to everyone. Celessa doesn't seem like in a hurry to get up to the bunk, kind of like looking out the window, gazing, off to the distance. The real issue here, as which you guys will quickly come to realize on the sort of the second the upper deck, is that there is not quite enough rooms for all the guests that you guys have brought. Well, let me rephrase that. There are 3 cabins that are basically for guests. You guys have brought 3 groups of guests, so they immediately assume that each one of them gets sort of one of these bedrooms. But there's an awkward moment where everybody's sort of making eye contact. The 2, like the halfling brother and sister, immediately call dibs on a room and start loading all their textile gear into one of them. And like Gattleby's up there, basically making dibs on one of the rooms. So any of you guys that go up there to check it out, and you feel free to move your token up the staircase to explore it if you'd like. The issue really becomes like, where do you guys want to sort of sleep, or how do you want to do it? So
Saruk's stuff is on one of those beds. I feel like I have seen them, but I am not looking at them. This is a strange dichotomy. If there are enough beds for all of us in one room, that seems probably what Saruk would push for. If not, if that becomes evident, or rather, I think because Saruk would know, doing the mental math quickly. Running back up the stairs.
Yeah, so the way it looks is like basically each bedroom seems to have like 2 beds in it. Oh, up here, Reficule, you also see like Nolby and Gebben have like sort of opened this little like hallway. It's like this little door. It's got like a pretty thick little padlock on it, and they like unlock it and like open the door, and you can see beyond it. It's just like almost a closet with a ladder that just goes straight up. And as it goes up, you just hear the sort of loud rumbling of the engine spinning up above, like kind of echoing down. And they kind of like go through the door and look back at you, and then give you like a thumbs up, and then close and lock the door behind them. And then they are back. And that's like the big door. This is like employees only. There's one on the north and the south end of this hallway up here. But yeah, what you see as far as the bedrooms go, Saruk, there's 3 bedrooms. Each has 2 beds in them. There doesn't seem to be one room that's big enough for all of you. There are some bigger bedrooms up here. If you go around and like check some of the doors, there is a crew's bedroom like way up on the north, but it's, you know, listed for crew only. Farah and Dezen each have their own bedroom, which is like here and here on the floor. And then beyond that, there doesn't appear to be enough full-on bedrooms. That being said, there are other quarters, like there's a sort of games room down here in the bottom with like tables and chairs and stuff. And then actually over on this side, if you want to check on the east side, there is a sort of lounge that has a couple of couches and some kind of cushioned sofas. Interestingly enough, as you come in, every single piece of furniture in these rooms are like bolted to the ground. So they're not freestanding. Like every chair, every table, every couch, they're all locked into the wood so they don't slide around even as the airship moves. There are some places where people could potentially crash in here as well.
Is this a like staircase here in the middle?
Yeah, that looks like it's a spiral staircase that seems to go back down to the first floor of the airship.
Circle jam his blanket and pillow on yonder chair. Well, that'll do. Can't be any worse than Phoebe's. Probably quieter. And back down.
We're letting these people just take the rooms then. Is that what's happening?
I mean, the couches look fine. I mean, and then leans in. If you want to pick a fight with Gattleby about it, that is your bull to wrestle.
I think I hear Hal shouting from downstairs. I can't really hear him though.
I said I don't need a place to sleep. It beats the hell out of sleep behind a brothel, but I was thinking now we got some time, maybe we just sit around and play some cards downstairs.
You know? Yeah.
Instead of running for our lives or laying on the ground bleeding out.
Yeah.
We just take some time to relax.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go watch the ship take off, and then I'll be right with you.
Right, we're gonna get started. And I pull out the bottle of booze. They always overcharge for cocktails on here anyway.
That's the truth.
Believe it or not, when Lucky came by to give you the cocktails, like the ones he was offering pre-flight were free.
Wow.
In that case, I'm saving the bottle of booze for later.
Were they airship bottles?
Sure.
I ordered the sweetest drink they have.
Right. Grenadine, got it. And he's like looking under the bar for any sort of
Alcoholic drink.
Right, of course. Sorry. And he's like back. He's like, where is it? He looks like he's like out of place. He doesn't know where anything is. He's looking through the bar, but he's happy to sort of acquiesce to your request. And yeah, it's not too long before they sort of pull in the ropes on the side of the ships, and Dezen goes around and sort of what it is on the floor. There's a bartender that works at the bar, so that bartender comes out. He's like the last crew that's staying behind to work the bar, and he sort of comes out and like unravels the ropes from these stakes. And as he does that, Dezen is sort of yanking him up onto the ship, and it's not too far from you guys are no longer sort of tethered here to the ground. And like slowly as that happens, Farah makes a sort of announcement like, here we go. And like very slowly, almost anticlimactically, you guys start rising. It looks almost imperceptible to like the ground, but you notice you're floating up at a few feet per second.
That damn lucky's taking too long, and I pull the bottle back out and I pour two shots for me and Hal. To fly in, I guess. Where's that cocktail?
Saruk's out there. You watch as Lucky's like fumbling with the drinks and stuff, and he gets the tray and he gets one of it up, and then as the airship sort of does a little like jolt as it like sort of corrects itself, and like spills the bottle. He's like, oh, shit. And he looks at you, and you're looking at him, and he takes the tray and he puts the glass down and he just pours the drink off the tray back into the cup and shakes it into the glass, and then puts it back on and takes it into Hal and Ruffy.
Cirque will follow after. So flying.
Flying. About damn time.
Puts the drinks down. And then immediately goes back to the bar. A couple of the other passengers have filtered down, but for the most part, everyone's really interested in watching the takeoff from whatever window they can get view of.
You know, if you drink all that sugar, it'll make your fangs fall out, right?
Heard that before. Hasn't happened yet.
I mean, that'll literally make you all bark, no bite.
Barking.
To bargain.
And definitely not biting. Plays with the rings on his tusks.
I've heard it's not really biting. You just stab. You're just stabbing people with your teeth.
Yeah, more or less. Somebody deal me in.
I'm assuming Hal's probably dealing.
Yeah, you got no problem sitting here. The ride's pretty smooth. You guys, as you're looking out the window, because there's these nice windows in this like dining room cabin, it floats up, and you realize that you're actually getting up pretty high. You almost have risen. At this point, it's like a view that most of you have never seen, except for maybe Saruk, which is the view of Alkenstar from like above the smog as you sort of like rise above, and you can just see the whole city is just covered in this layer of like dingy smog covered smoke. It makes it hard to even see the streets of Smokeside. You can barely make out a little bit of like Skyside, and just kind of piercing through the top of that is like Grayson's Fingers, the sort of highest buildings in the city. The penthouses at the top of that having this nice view of the sky and the sun all the time. And it sort of floats up, and you kind of watch as Alkenstar becomes this sort of small thing that you feel like you could almost like reach out and put it in your pocket. And you kind of drift off northeast of the city towards Cloudreaver Keep, watching kind of everything drift slowly away.
So Hal will deal out some cards, and then he'll look towards Saruk and ask, "What? You ever think what you're going to do after this? I mean, once this is all over."
After this, I'm gonna go back home. I presume that folks will let me get my job back, and I will, depending on circumstances, receive a promotion, or I'll be back to a desk job. And that will be a relief, but it won't be... I don't know. Sometimes I look out at Alkenstar and I see how shitty it is. And I think, or I would like to think, that I've done a small measure of good in waves broadly towards the window. Maybe my place is more in places like that. What about you?
I haven't really thought much about it, to be quite honest. I mean, I made my way here from out west. Needed some coin to survive.
You came from the Mwangi Expanse. I never knew.
No, Shattered Lands. Well, the dark side of the Shattered Lands, if you can believe it.
I think I can.
Probably go back to helping them kids make it across the desert.
Not all over.
But I don't know. The last ones I had didn't make it, so we didn't have enough to eat. you see, man, a storm came through and we were in the, I don't know what it would be called, plane of shadow. That's why, it's where most of us come from. There was a storm. I was escorting some kids into safer areas from where we grew up and ended out in the middle of the desert somewhere, and slowly made my way to that city upriver, and was working for the engineers for a little while just to make some coin, but they were so little and small and out of their element, and they didn't make it.
Unfortunate. What about you, Ruffy?
I thought the desert was full of lizard tails.
That was a necessity to learn how to catch them, and then kind of trial and error to understand that they're edible or not. The kids got so hungry, we ate whatever we could find, and some of that stuff wasn't so good.
Most of those lizard tails have lizards attached to them as well, and they don't take kindly to does the thumb, other hand, pantomime pull trick.
They grow back. Well, I found out they grow back. Certain kinds. But I was thinking maybe heading to Absalom. They say that there's a relatively large city on the other side. I mean, if I go back to Shadow, it's really just the middle of the desert. I can either go back the way I came, but I mean, there's just Umba dragons and giants and all sorts of scary beasts out there, and figured somebody could use my type of skills, maybe a mercenary caravan guard, something like that.
Certainly the city at the center of the world ought to have many opportunities in it. Presumably it's not the same as the city nebulously behind us.
Ain't that the truth?
Isn't there some podunk town near Absalom that's the home of a group of legendary heroes?
Oh, right. I'd heard some stories coming, but I hadn't picked more than bits and pieces.
Oh, you mean the Atari 2600s?
That's them.
I don't know. Sounds like a fairy tale.
Yeah, probably don't exist. Just a bunch of bards, lures, trying to make coin.
Heard they're real good at identifying kobolds.
With certainty. 100% certainty.
Yeah, Ruffy, what are you doing after this? You're going to be at the end of your... I mean, you don't take me as a guy who looks past what he's going to do the next hour, let alone the next week.
As I pour another drink. When you feel that you're living off borrowed time for long enough, you tend not to look past the next drink. And I'll put my glass up to cheers and down it.
Somewhere like a lease on life that you can renew every few years, or in our case, every few weeks.
Or at least you're going to stamp really hard when you find the person who did what they did to you and do what you must.
Right. Haven't given much thought after that. Haven't given much thought if there will be an after that, so... Not sure. Why make plans, really?
Something to live for. Honestly.
No, Refi's right. There's wisdom to living in the moment, not dwelling on the past or the future. The former being ghosts that haunt you, and the latter often being anxieties that do the same. The present moment, the now, the things that we can handle today. And then tomorrow, if we find ourselves, should I say free agents, or should I say out from under Phoebe's thumb? I'll say both. Free agents, out from under Phoebe's thumb. We can go from there.
Ruffy doesn't take me as a guy that's really anxious about anything other than his next chalky or his next shot of whiskey. Or both of them mixed. That's pretty gross.
It's not bad, actually. Should give it a try.
I'll stick with my lizard tails.
Maybe around this time, like Celesta sort of comes by and sees you, the three of you guys playing cards and drinking and kind of shooting the shit. And she kind of looks down and she's like, got a room for one more at this game? She kind of pats her little coin purse. I got some coin.
Yeah. Sit down.
Sidles in on the booth like next to Hal and pulls some coin out and kind of gets dealt into the next hand.
So what's it like being retired? And what was it like the last several months?
I mean, honestly, everything's kind of gone to shit since the purge. It's been a shit show around here. I've just been counting the days to my retirement. No one's in it for the city anymore. You know what I mean? We used to do what we did because we knew it was all for the greater good. But now it's all about following orders. And come to Alkenstar to follow orders. You know what I mean? We're free thinkers out here. We don't live under the boot of anyone else. Especially if that boot is the Duchess.
Speaking of boots, who's under Angelique's boots nowadays?
Angelique, she's gone off the deep end, that one. She used to be the weird kid, you know, the one that no one wanted to eat with in the mess hall. She spent her time patrolling the Mana Waste because, well, she didn't like people, which was fine because we didn't really like her that much either. The Purge, I think it changed her. I think it opened her eyes. She's all about that upward mobility now. Got promoted.
I feel like the Outlander is missing just a little bit of context here. Purge?
Ah, yeah, the Purge. You didn't tell me about the Purge, Hal?
I mean, to be quite frank, this is really the first lengthy conversation me and Saruk had since we got together. I mean, either I was unconscious or he was unconscious, or we were both unconscious at some point.
It's also the first conversation I've had with a member of law enforcement that wasn't, how do I put this nicely, trying to shoot me.
Look, I cashed in my badge. I ain't no law enforcement anymore. That being said, you give me a shot of that whiskey and I'll tell you all about the Purge.
Looks over to Reffy.
Side eyes Reffy. What's Reffy's reaction like sitting across from a fairly recent Shield Marshal?
You are surrounded by 3 cops, 2 of them former. What are you doing?
I think he pours her the whiskey. He just smiles at her. Doesn't really faze him too much. Wouldn't be the first Shield Marshal he's dined with. I'm assuming there's probably been quite a few of them that been over to Muglin's. So
It's very true. So she takes a shot. She thanks you. She downs it.
for the greater good.
For the greater good.
Here, here.
I guess it depends on how far you want to go back. You can go back to the beginning, to Alkenstar. Started this great city, this idea, freedom, not letting somebody else tell you what to do, right? But you gotta have rules. You gotta have laws. People will eat each other, and Alkenstar knew that. And that's why we started the Shield Marshals. I never met the man, way before my time, but Angelique, she served with him. You should ask her. She probably has some stories.
I feel like that will be complicated to do.
Anyhow, things are the way they are. Did we do things the best way? Some of us think so. Did We skim a little off the top sometimes. Maybe. But did we keep Alkenstar safe? You know goddamn well we did. The mutants, the giants, everyone came at us and we protected everyone. Now, they might not say we followed all the laws, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do for the greater good. Looks over at Ruffy. Anyhow, once the Duchess came in, this Trietta Rashetta, she wants reform, she says. She acts 25% of the force. Well, at least she put pressure on the captain to do it. Anyone that got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, they were gone. What do you think happened? Crime went up. Standard of living's worse. Alkenstar gets worse by the year. All because she couldn't leave well enough alone. Of course, those of us still around gotta move up in this world, right? Gotta move up.
Like Angelique has been doing.
Yes, exactly. Well, 25% laid off. Many more quit. They know what it's like. Only some of us old-timers left. If you didn't die, if you weren't arrested, you earn a retirement. And she stares out the window with like a kind of a glaze on her eyes, like, what left is there to do in this world? Hunt, I guess.
Yeah, why not? You put in the hours. If Hal vouches for you, then the city is very complicated, but laws are required to govern waves, again, broadly in the general direction of where Alkenstar once was. I don't know you well enough to say this, and my experience in your city has often been that the police force is more corrupt than the criminal underworld, but I believe you had it. Your heart was in the right place, I guess. Something to hold on to.
I think if you were to ask some of the criminals in this city, and you were to ask some of the shield marshals in this city, I think we'd both agree there's one kind of person neither side can stand. That's a snitch.
I'll drink to that.
I pour a double.
Yup.
That's why I can't stand these snitches, these goody two-shoes like Angelique moving up. It ain't right.
I feel like the phrase goody two-shoes and the name Angelique Lovelace, they don't go together from what I've understood in my time here.
You kidding? Angelique's the kind of person that would sell you out to her captain for a merit in her folder. She's straight as an arrow, they say. 100 years she's been out here on these mana wastes, and she didn't make any friends on the forest, I'll tell you that much.
She didn't need him. She's got plenty of other friends.
Snaps when Refi says that.
What do you know about Angelique, anyway? She catch you jaywalking, write you a ticket?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Let's just say we met somewhere up on high, and she wrote me a ticket one way down. I've had my fair share. Well, not me personally, but she's had a few dealings with some old family of mine.
Not great dealings either. We got a little wrapped up a while ago. We almost brought a scrap tower down on her fucking head. That would have solved a lot of problems. 2 rocks with 1 stone there.
I would have liked to seen the look on her face when you did that.
It was good.
Can't stand the bitch.
You would happen to know where she hangs out, or the directly under her, like Hal was saying.
Like I said, not many friends on the force. She went snitching quite a bit during the purge. She didn't have many friends before, and she certainly doesn't have many now. I don't know. Something changed.
Mithril linings, I suppose.
Purge sounds like a good way to get rid of enemies and people who might be asking too many questions that Miss Angelique didn't like.
Stitch your way to the top of the pile, and then suddenly the pile can look like whatever the fuck you want it to.
Good way to keep your eyes off yourself as well. Their eyes off yourself.
What are you hinting at?
Angelique might be a straight and narrow, but it's a poisoned arrow straight to your heart.
All I know about Angelique, she didn't have the same moral compass that all of us did. Hers might have been a bit more on the narrow. She wasn't as willing to let things slide. She's not the kind to take a payment for a ticket up front. She's always had her own interpretation of the law. A, shall we say, strict interpretation. But a poison of the a poison arrow to the heart. Nah, I don't see it.
You ever hear of Old Rock?
Some whispers.
What if I told you that Angelique was closely associated with him and his associates?
I mean, word on the street is she killed him.
She tried.
You can see she's like sizing you up a bit now. I see. But if memory serves me right, you were on the wrong side of the law, were you not?
Now, hypothetically speaking, if I was this old rock fella, the wrong side or right side is irrelevant, but it's a question of Angelique's connections and exactly how she knew where to be and when.
I'm just not seeing it. Sorry. She folds her hand.
That's fine. You keep your eye on the greater good of Skyside, at least.
She shrugs, takes a drink, and gets ready for like the next hand. Around this time, like Dezen is sort of like coming down just to check on you guys. Like, how's it going? Everything going good here? We've hit our cruising altitude. You're free to move about the cabin. Everything's gonna be great. Oh, if you look out that window, you can see we're just coming across Alkenstar Falls. Can you see it in the distance there? And he starts pointing out like the waterfall from like a distance, which was right in the middle of the city, but still, he's just trying to be a good tour guide. Celesta's like, when are we going to be close enough to shoot something? Well, not until after Cloudreaver Keep, okay? The captain's made arrangements. We're going to go right through the dinosaur flatlands, and yeah, you'll have plenty to hunt.
Dinosaurs. We're hunting dinosaurs.
Celesta's like, damn straight. So Dezen smiles and looks to the other ones. He goes, is there anything else I can do for you?
I think we're good. Thank you.
Oh, I did hear the kerfuffle about bunk arrangements. I do have a room upstairs. I'm not going to be using it much. I have a bunk up in the flight deck I can use. If one of you would like access, feel free to please make yourself at home.
Thank you.
Great, we'll take it.
Right, of course, yeah. Sure. And he smiles and continues on.
I do not know what that man has been drinking today, but I think that is the first cheery person I've met since I got to Alkenstar. Holy shit.
He smells a bit like skunk.
That would explain it.
Celesta kind of gets up and excuses herself from the card game, like, I'm gonna go grab my bunk. I did notice my room's got 2 beds. I don't exactly need both of them. How? I mean, if you're interested, you can always shack up.
Again?
She laughs a little bit. Bed's yours if you want it.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I have camped on worse chairs and couches.
Okay. We can do that.
There's a little bit of a smirk on her face as she like exits and goes back upstairs.
To the greater good.
For the greater good.
Lucky!
Lucky!
Alkenstar.
Another round of drinks. Where is that little man?
Coming, sir. And then he's out on the deck, like trying to mix drinks. Absolutely is working on drinks for you guys. And I think right around there, the camera sort of stops and we see the like airship. It's not moving fast, right? This isn't like zooming or anything, but it's moving at like a pretty steady pace. And I think Second Kiss is given a movement speed of 30 feet per round. So one stride, like a little bit more than a stride action, right? Maybe a stride action for some of you guys. Like if you guys ran, you could outrun it. But the advantage here is that it's constant speed. There's no slow down. It's just sort of like slowly drifting through the sky, and we kind of watch as the ship's going, it kind of leaves the frame and gets smaller. As you can see, Lucky on the back of the ship cruising a little bit of the drinks, and there's like a little bit of like cloud cover. The last thing we see before we go to break is sort of like dark sort of figures within the clouds and like wings sort of flapping and like following your ship. And we don't see what they are, but we see like 2 like shadowy figures in the clouds following your ship on its way to Cloudreaver Keep. And we'll get to what that may be after our break. We're going to go to our break. We're about the halfway mark. It's 8:26. But while we're at break, just support us at Recall Knowledge. Head on over to twitch.tv/Recall Knowledge. Give us a follow. Give us a sub if you got Amazon Prime. We take Amazon Prime, regular subs, whatever. Follow us, subscribe on youtube.com/Recall Knowledge. Catch all the past shows, catch their future shows. Just subscribe. It doesn't cost you much. And go to like our videos and like them. That helps the YouTube algorithm. Just hit like. And if you're watching this right now and you haven't liked yet, just hit the thumbs up button. It takes like a second. And also check us out on Patreon. Oh, look at that. Axiom with a subscription, a gift sub in the chat. Thank you for that. Look for Recall Knowledge on Patreon. Patreon.com/Recall Knowledge. We'll give our patrons a shout out a little bit later. We'll be back in 10 minutes with some more Outlaws of Alkenstar and a showdown with whatever these dark, foreboding figures moving through the sky actually.
Alan Muskie? Is that you? Did you develop infernal wings? Have you come after us at last? Oh shit!
Maybe. All right, we'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Outlaws of Alkenstar, minus Ninna still. So when we last left off, the airship floating, like we go to commercials, we come back from commercials, the airship's still floating out across the sort of open spot between Alkenstar and the furthest eastern post within the Alkenstar, like, I don't want to call it city, but the Alkenstar, is it a city-state? Is it a region? Is it a duchy? I'm not sure exactly how they categorize it. It's the easternmost place that Alkenstar region holds. That's called Cloudreaver Keep. Anything beyond Cloudreaver Keep is like crazy uninhabited spell-scarred desert. So this is where we're heading. The first journey, it's 1 day from Alkenstar to this place. The airship's sort of floating out. There's not a lot around. It's just like empty desert wasteland. But in the sort of clouds around above the airship, these like shadowy figures with wings are sort of floating, and 2 of them kind of come up behind the airship, ominously following. And we do like a smash cut back to like the ship with you guys. So it's been, you've been on this airship. The ride's been going for like at least like 4 or 5 hours at this point. It's still probably like the sun's still up, it's still got a few hours of daylight, so it's not nighttime or anything. But like, is there anything, what would your characters generally just be doing in this time?
Honestly, I think because everything has been so, what's the word? over the top and crazy since Alkenstar, I think Saruk is very happy to just be around friends and shoot the shit and not have to worry about what's going to happen tomorrow or like whether or not he's going to be able to sleep safely or like here comes someone breaking in the window of the fucking barrel bullet or whatever. Entirely opposite of those ominous shadows following us, but just stuck to the team and hanging out and trying to have fun.
Cool.
Letting the man bun down, probably literally. I don't have like Sokka with the hair undone. Hey Wiffle, if you're watching, I need to talk to you about new art. But that.
Anything different from Ruffy and or Hal? Everyone's just sort of enjoying some downtime, some like relaxing time.
Probably. At a certain point, Ruffy turned his back towards the window and is just doing the same thing. Playing cards, drinking, talking.
And Hal's completely like oblivious to anything, just having conversations with his new friends, getting to know these guys a little bit better. Still like leery of Refugule, but you know, maybe this will bridge the gap. I mean, provided we don't get attacked by foreboding, ominous, cliffhangers. But yeah, he's just relaxing, really like letting himself, for the first time in a long time, just not really have a care while they do this travel.
But yeah, Nulby and Gebbin. There we go. Nulby and Gebbin, the two goblins at this point. They've even managed, like everything's been going pretty steady. Engines are wound. Everything's good to go. They've kind of also taken up a spot in like a table sort of in the dining room. They've got a few drinks brought by Lucky. Some really like strong, like grease oil over ice kind of. And they're like both like drinking that sort of thing. Siblings, the merchants, they're upstairs in the games room. They're kind of enjoying a game of chess against each other. And then Anita has been not handling the airship very well in the swaying motion. And she's barfed a few times over the edge. And she's currently like went into the... she's spending a lot of time in the bathrooms. There are bathrooms on this ship, like basically little porta potty type things. And she's spending a lot of time like barfing into those until she can get used to the sort of swaying motion that many of you are seemingly not affected by. And then the last person, like the pilot and the co-pilot, Farah and Dezen, are both up on the front in the flight deck. They are making sure the ship goes. You haven't seen much of them. And then Gattleby and Lucky are out on the exposed like patio drinking at the bar. Gattleby just has like a pile of glasses, and Lucky and him are just like shooting the shit. Life is good and life is relaxing, and for just a moment you forget of all the dangers and the troubles. Probably around then is when you hear like a scream from the patio area. And then the door like flies open and Lucky comes like hightailing it into the room. And he's like, "There's something out there!" And he like basically like almost like falls against the wall, like swooning and like fainting. There's an ominous sort of like shadow that falls on the window outside you guys as you catch a look of a creature that looks like this fly past the window. And I'll come to the battle screen so our viewers can see. It's this weird amalgamation creature, feet of an eagle, body of a horse, head of a wolf, reindeer antlers. And you see it for just a second, like through the clouds, and it's visible. You kind of watch as it swoops back, and it looks like it's about to like land on the patio outside where currently Gattleby is like drinking. Across from you, like you see Nulby and Gebbin. They're like, "Oh shit, we gotta get up! Like I gotta get up to the cannon. I'm the only one that can operate it." And then the other one's like, "Screw you! I'm the only one that can do it." And you see them like arguing over each other and like getting into a fist fight of who should actually go like handle the ballista. And they kind of stop in the middle of this fight and look over at you guys. And then it's like, "Oh, it takes two people, so one of you come with one of us. Which one should it be?" And like they're like, Okay, but they want to know which one. Me. They both want to know which one you want to come with them.
Which one of you is better at it? Don't fucking that one. Whoever talked first, I point to them.
All right, you get Nolby. So they kind of like lead you up into the stairs. They open the door, right? The locked door. You guys climb up the ladder. One of them runs off to the. Here, I'll just move you up so you can see it. They bring you up here, right? They unlock this door. You get to go up into this little like ladder. You get to then climb up, which takes you into the actual like inside of the balloon. And then you've got to go south again to right in the middle where this ladder is. And then you've got to climb up that ladder. And finally, at the very end of all of that, you end up on top of the balloon, way above everyone else. The clouds are around you, the airship. The map shows 2, but the description is there's a singular, old, kind of rusty, busted ballista. And you and Nolby are able to like kind of start working it. You look over the edge and you see 2 of these creatures sort of floating around. It looks like they are sort of ready to like pounce on the airship. That's going on. You and Nolby together can operate this siege weapon. But back down in the cabin, we have Hal and Reficule. So what are you guys doing?
Finish my drink. I knew we were gonna fucking bloody die in here.
I think Hal's gonna run back to his new roommate and tell Celesta, well, we're not at the dinosaur lowlands yet, but there's something you can hunt right outside. Come with us. You got an extra one of those long rifles? If not, I think Reficule's got one.
No, yeah, I got one. Make a diplomacy check, Hal.
Diplomacy check, okay.
Yeah, so if you're telling Celesta that there is some action outside, bring the rifle, we're hunting, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 19.
19, not bad. You can see there's a bit of hesitation in her eyes, but sensing the urgency of the situation, she nods. She pulls out her like long rifle and a pouch of her ammunition, and she does come down with you.
Nice. I'll pass Reficule. Grab the blunderbuss.
Yeah, we would have brought
The whole stockpile of arms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Knowing that
So
we're
you
going
guys-
to the desert, we would have brought them all.
So I'll move you guys. The only place in this whole ship, other than the very top, where Saruk and Nolby are sort of loading the weapons, is this sort of open air bar. And as you guys sort of step out, Lucky's already gone. Lucky has like recused himself upstairs to the safety of the second story. Gattleby, in his like arrogance or his drunkenness, is still sitting at the bar looking around at the things that are floating, and he looks up at you guys and he's like, situation, guys.
We're well aware. What are you going to do to help?
Well, bolts, I guess I'll just get out of the professional's way. He eyes your like firearms that you guys are holding, and you can see that he gives them like a wide berth as he kind of like scuttles around the edge of you guys, trying to like stay out of reach of your firearms, and like goes back inside and just takes a seat in the dining room cabin.
Bloody fucking useless. Right.
Once you're outside, you guys can each give me a perception check.
I think I would like this to be a lead in pursuing.
Sure.
Perception.
Mary Chrysler. Someone has said Ninna ain't here.
Now, which stairway goes up top?
Back.
This one right here. Yeah, the outside is here on this patio. Upstairs is all enclosed. There's not even any windows on the second story.
Can these windows be opened?
They are just solid panes of glass. They're actually not openable. But they can be broken into or shot through.
It should be fun.
Okay, so better perceptions. It was 17, 23, 20. Yeah, looking through the clouds, you can see that there are two of these things. There are these things that are trying their best to sort of float through the air. They're trying to stay stealthy, but they're not very good at it. And I think in that sort of moment, and there is about to be an initiative starting. I'm going to use stealth for these creatures' initiative. You guys can all roll your perceptions.
Al, you want the blunderbuss or the musket?
I'll grab the blunderbuss. I have no idea what's the difference.
Toss him the blunderbuss.
Man, I really wish I would have taken Airship lore today. Heck,
Yeah, piloting lore at least.
yeah. If only I could roll that for initiative.
True.
Oh, hey, my initiative is probably too higher because even at rest, Hal was scouting, right?
Actually,
Right.
I was thinking Hal would not be scouting because he's just relaxing.
For the
That's
first
fair.
time.
For the
the
first
first
time in forever. That's
Where did
fair.
that blunderbuss go?
Hal and Ruffy, go ahead and roll that initiative for me if you can.
Hacha. That's a 22.
Never take breaks, you guys. Never let your guard down, because look what happens. First round initiative, you and Ruffy are like getting your guns back and forth, trying to get who's using what situated, kind of using the ship for cover. So the creatures get to go first. They're sort of flying. They're using the ship for cover. You guys are looking around. They're kind of hard to see. One of them sort of kind of pops down from the ship and flies with its fly speed right near, darting in right over the top of you, Hal. And there's not like a ton of space here, but there's a little bit of space, and it's kind of above you. And you watch as it's flying right over the top of you, and its eyes sort of flicker, and you can feel a bit of a weird, fuzzy feeling in your feet. And I need you to make a will save for me, please.
Thought it was in my stomach from all the booze. Hero point.
18 will be a fail, so you can go ahead and hero point that.
Even better.
One better, still a failure. So you watch, you feel like a tingling in your feet that's really weird, and then this creature's flying over the top of you, and you, who are so in tune with like shadows and shadow worlds and things like that, you notice that this creature flying there, its shadow that's kind of cast on the floor towards you, the shadow of it sort of warbles a bit, and you're looking at this creature as your eyes sort of glaze over. It's now casting a shadow that matches you.
That's really awkward.
It's very weird, which fucks with your brain just a little bit, and it makes you a little on edge. Nice. So it's shadow, but the shadow that it's casting is in the shape of you.
Gotcha. So I had two shadows. One that can serve me drinks and the other one that could kill me.
And it does sort of end its turn there, sort of floating over the ground. And then while this thing is sort of messing with you, another one sort of flies in, lands flies in next to you for one action, lands, it's like adjacent with you now. And it's going to do a antler strike. So it's got these giant antlers on it, and it comes in and attempts, at the very least, to antler strike you. That is a 27, which does hit. So you take, it's a hit, not a crit. You take 16 points of damage.
Ouch.
With its third and final action, it tries to do a fang strike on you. Oops, that's not the right roll. Well, it's a natural one. It doesn't matter. It's a critical miss. Do you do anything on a critical miss yet?
No, it's on the other character. Never mind.
Nothing. Okay. But that is the creature's turn. Up next is Celessa. First action is to bring up. She has this large rifle type thing, and she is too close to this creature now because she's got this rifle. It's really awkward for her to be able to hit from where it is. So she's like, oh, shit. She just tries at a point blank range, even though she takes a penalty with this rifle. So she will strike. It's a total of a 19. So I think what happens is she kind of goes up, and it's awkward, and the sort of claw of the creature knocks it aside, and there's a huge booming noise that echoes off. The shot fires off the airship off into the distance. That is a miss, unfortunately. The second action she takes is to sort of stride back indoors away from this creature. It does not incur any opportunity attacks. And her third action is to sort of like and she's like reloading her giant rifle from in here. But that is Celesta's turn. So Saruk, you are up on the top. You're doing this siege weapon, right?
I am. I the guy who forever GMs professionally have used a lot of specifically ballistas. It's like, yes, I know how this works.
Okay. I've not used that many. I do know that the siege weapons do have very specific rules around them, so I'm trying to look up. Yeah, I think it is just a ballista, so that should be. Just double check. Yeah, this is the one for sure. So it's a two-person job. It takes two action loads to get it loaded, one action to aim and one action to launch.
Right.
What actions are you spending on your turn?
So I have a million questions at the start of my turn. The first of which is the presumption that the thing is loaded.
It is not loaded yet.
Why is the ballista not loaded when we're going into a place called the Dinosaur Upland?
Theoretically, it's not loaded because it's not really designed to be kept at tension all the time.
I look at Nolby and I am sad at him. Okay, so second question. Because I can see what the token can see, and I don't know if I have a firing arc from the ballista where it can turn that I can hit these things that doesn't also just fire into the deck.
Right. So in this case, they have like from where you are to where they are, it's very awkward with the thing. There is some vision. They definitely have partial cover from where you are, but you would be able to at least aim at where one of them are right now if you so chose.
Okay, so then I will glance over at Nolby is their name. Okay, glance over at Nolby. Load it! And then, like, as that's happening, I'm gonna do that thing that investigator do. Untap, upkeep, devise a stratagem.
It's gonna be a 17.
17. Shit, never mind. And so then it's one action to... This is going to be really awkward when it passes to Nolby and then they re-aim and refire. But I guess that's the mechanics of it. One action to aim it, to point it on the presumption that I can just turn this thing 360 degrees and it's not mounted in some way.
You can aim in all 360 degrees. It looks like the stat says when you aim it, you can move the aim up to 35 feet. I think right now it's probably pointed off towards the side. So probably one aim action, 35 feet, swings it back, but it still would take probably two aim actions to even get to where they are from where it's pointing right now.
Okay, got it. So then I'll just swing it around to face aft and that'll be all.
Okay.
I guess really before I pass, if it is pointed this way, does that then mean that I have a firing arc like in a cone? Anybody in there? Or no one? Never mind. I answered my own question. JK, it's single target and I have to pick the square.
You pick a square, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okie dokie, hold on.
That is calling these murder reindeers. So.
Santa Claus don't give no breaks.
So, I'm going to take my free action to stride towards an enemy that I can see. That would be 25 feet there, I believe. Going through Hal, counting 10, so that'd be 25. Free action to draw my pistol. And I'm going to shoot it in the face. Gotcha! That's a 27.
27 is a hit.
9 points of damage.
It takes the full 9 points of damage from your shot.
Second action. Reloading strike. And it is flat-footed to my melee strikes.
Perfect. I will toggle flat-footed on.
All right, and I will hit him with my fist. Oh, nope, don't count that. That should have been at the map attack. So -4.
With the -4, that is a miss. It was an 8 on the dice if you want to hero point it or just take the miss.
I agree, Chipmunk Reficule. You should use your hero point.
It's always in the heat of the moment. It's always when it gets exciting and then Chipmunk voice comes out.
Remember, kids, Chipmunk Reficule says Elon Musk sucks.
Well, that's a hero point. That turns it into a hit. 9 more points of damage.
And that's my turn, says Chipmunk Reficule.
Oh no, I already reloaded. Never mind. That was a reloading strike. Third action, I'm going to aid Hal in his attack.
So, yep. All right. How are you attempting to aid?
I'll make a feint.
Hal, it is your turn.
I will drop the blunderbuss that I had.
Okay.
Then I will do a... I'll have to have a free... Well... I have to have a free hand. I have one free hand, so I can hold on to it with one hand. And then sock it. My hand's still free. So let's do that. But I'm going to punch it and I'm attempt to do a snagging strike.
Okay, we'll start with the snagging strike.
So my feint goes off.
Yes, it does. Go ahead and make that deception check. DC 20. 15 won't be enough to help, but doesn't hurt. So go ahead and make the attack roll for Hal.
Watcha.
8 on the dice, 23. 23 is a hit.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage, and it's snagged.
Yep,
It's now flat-footed.
Flat-footed. All the new feats. What am I going to do?
Like, I haven't fought with my new feats yet.
A knockdown. Make an attack. Knock phone balance. Make a melee strike. So I'll punch him with a fist. With a map attack. Map -4.
That's definitely a hit.
Okay, and if it hits, I get to do a trip attack, which is an athletics check.
Yep.
So I will do my athletics check. Why did I close my...
30 athletics. The trip is targeting. So it is a 30. You do take the map.
-4.
And then, so that's a 26. And this is targeting the reflex DC. And this creature's reflex DC is lower than that. And you successfully trip the creature. It's a success, but not a critical success. So the creature lands prone.
That's my turn.
All right, Nulby. So Nulby uses her first 2 actions to start loading this thing. So it's 2 actions to load it. It does take 2 load actions to get it fully loaded. So she does the 2, and then she begins doing another one, but she can't actually finish loading it until her next turn. So it takes 2 load actions of 2 actions each to finish loading the ballista. So unfortunately, through he watches, she's not quite capable of loading it fast enough for your shot to be ready. This creature, this one here, the one that like Refi was beating up and shooting, this is the one that like mimicked Hal's shadow. So first action is to sort of move in, step in. I guess it's not stepping because it was kind of hovering, so it like lands on the ground right in front of Hal and Refi with a stride. I think Refi already used the reaction anyways. Targets Hal and does an antler strike. That's a 20, which is a miss. And then a Fang follow up with third action. Ooh, that's a natural 20 from the creature. That is going to be critical hit damage on Hal. I don't know if you have a way to negate that.
We just say no.
32 points of damage to Hal. You take the jaw strike, but you stay standing. And then this one that's prone, the first thing it does with its action is stand up.
I'm gonna smack it.
Which triggers your opportunity attack.
Smack the creature. Strike. Go.
That is a hit. Unfortunately, not a crit, though. It takes the 6 points of damage, but it does stand up. Second action is to Antler Strike. 21 misses. And the third action is it kind of like flies out of your reach and back out into the air on the outside of the airship, which takes it out of cover completely and is now like a wide open target for like Saruk up top. Perfect. All right, so Lessa, she had already done an action. What she does is she actually runs back to the back of the cabin a little bit more, and then targets this creature with her weapon, and even like through like Hal and stuff, she makes a shot without the penalty for being too close. 22 is exactly what she needs to hit for hitting through Hal. Oh, she rolled low damage. She only got 3 damage on the creature, but it does hit, and then instantly like reloads. Saruk.
Hockey dokie. Untap, upkeep, devise a stratagem.
That's looking good. That's a 30.
That's looking real good. Okay, so then you're on your own for now. And for one action, I'm gonna press the Boba Fett button on my back.
Ooh, Boba Fett button. Let's do it.
To get the other ballista that's here today, the backpack ballista, and then would a 30 hit the... I guess logically, the Parrot I have the most line of sight to is probably the one off the ship. Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
All right, 30 to hit him.
What's the range on your backpack?
Considerable. I'm not looking at it, but it's like 120 or something like. Hang on. It is very Lorg. I remember that. Can you tell I haven't played this character in a few weeks? Range increment of 180 feet.
Got it. So no penalty. But I was looking. It was still marked flat-footed, and it wasn't because it would have been the difference between a crit or not. It is a hit, but not a crit, unfortunately.
Rip. Okay, so then I'm going to target him. I'm going to do the thing, and then I'm going to do the other thing, and we're going to hope all of the things are procking in the way they're supposed to. Nice. I can live with 18 damage.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. 18 points of damage as your Boba Fett. You guys are just watching off the side of the ship when the like Boba Fett missile ballista thing flies in off the top and just crashes into it. Like your backpack ballista is almost better than the one mounted on the ship, right?
Yeah, I have opinions, but I don't want to bog down the stream with here's how I feel about these rules. That is otherwise my turn.
Perfect. All right, Ruffy.
Oh my god, Strick fell off the bloody ship.
No, I didn't. No way. I probably can't hear you.
Can't even hear.
I think I'll shoot the one right in front of me. Why not? Actually, do I want to? Would that one have... How far away is the one that flew off?
It's just barely off the edge of the ship. Looks like it's only about 25 feet away.
Alright. And it doesn't have any cover, right? Because it's floating up in the air?
That is correct.
Alright. Let's do this, just because I feel like doing it in this order. I'm going to shoot him. The one far off.
Okay.
Hacha!
Ooh. 34. That is a critical hit. And as a gunslinger, that's what you like to see.
It is. That's 38 points of damage. And the target must succeed at a fortitude saving throw or be stunned for 1 round. Or he's just dead.
It's permanently stunned as like you explode its sort of head, and then it just sort of falls out of the sky down towards the earth below, and it's out of the battle.
Right. And I'm going to do a running reload, which is one of the feats I took. And I'm going to reload as I stride, but really step behind this guy. And then I'm going to do a map attack with my fist. I believe he should be flat-footed, correct?
Yeah, it should trigger automatically.
That's a 3 though.
Yeah, flat-footed or not, I think maybe like the sort of ship sort of sways in the wind below you, which kind of catches you off guard, and then the shot goes wide.
That's why I don't like being on bloody solid ground. Right, that's my turn.
All right, Hal.
I think Hal's going to release the blunderbuss, use release action for free and drop it.
Huh?
Then draw his Kopesh. Make a strike against this creature. Let's call it a snagging strike.
3 on the dice is going to be a miss.
And then since they bit the shit out of me, I'm going to dueling parry it.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Perfect. Nolby up top basically gets the thing loaded, aimed, and then uses her third action to sort of swing it around and like aim. It's just a few squares of where the creature was last time, so she like spins it and like does her last action to aim it, so it's like aimed at the creature, ready to fire. She's like, "Ready to go, boss!" And she like taps you on the back of your considerable calf muscles. This creature gets a chance to go. This creature will still, like with the shadow thing on Hal, seems focused and will make an attack. 8 on the dice, 24. Because of the dueling parry, that's a miss. So the antler comes in, the blade, the Kopesh comes up, deflects the antler. Not bad. Second action, Fang Strike. Ooh, that's another natural 20 on the dice.
We should have taken the off week. Damn it.
Well, let's hope for low damage.
That's not low.
34 points of damage to Hal. Hal goes to dying 2 thanks to the critical hit. Let's see. That was 2 actions. I think with that, it like spins around. Oh, actually, there was actually more. You're supposed to be making saves every time it hits you, and I forgot. But you're lucky. It's fine. It spins around, and with its last action, it looks at you, Refi, and it does the Mimic Shadow on you. I need you to make a will saving throw.
That's a 26.
You steal your emotions and your shadow. You feel it trying to do something with your shadow, and in your mind, it doesn't work.
I have no emotions, you little bitch. You can't fool me.
We're working on him.
Celesta is like, oh, she runs up next to Hal. I guess her first action would be to take the shot that she's already loaded. So I'll target that. I'll make the strike with the weapon. 14 on the dice. That's a hit. 8 points of damage on this creature. Second action is to like do a stride towards Hal. That's, I guess the third action is to reload. So Rook.
Yeah, so really quickly at the top of my turn, this changes nothing, but I'm saying this out loud in front of the boys' TM, so the boys' TM can call me out, because I took shared stratagem, and I keep forgetting to fucking trigger it when I hit things. So when I hit something, when I've done good things, guys yell at me until I make it flat-footed. That's how I learn. But speaking of that, I'm going to devise a strat at the top of the round. Jeez, yeah, it's your shot. And then for one action, I'm going to draw the Giselle, which I guess I will draw two-handed because, well, you know, up here, nice, safe as houses on the observation deck. So +1 to that from the rune. Would a 29 hit them?
29 is a hit. Not a crit, but a hit.
Brah. 17 damage.
17
Nice.
Points of damage.
I'm really happy my friends didn't immediately yell at me because that's really healthy signs, but I'm going to declare Refi. I don't know how the fiction works in this sense because I probably can't really see what's going on. I just see something moving and shoot. But hey, Refi, that thing is flat-footed for a next attack. You know, I wonder if Ruffy's ever heard the phrase "eye for an eye." And that is me.
Nice. Okay. Ruffy, it is your turn.
All right. I think I'd like to shoot in the face after seeing my friend Hal go down.
It's flat-footed thanks to this shared stratagem. Saruk has like spun it in the perfect way to open up an attack for Ruffy.
There's a very loud 1950s bullet ricochet off their antlers, and they turn downwards.
Not as high as I was hoping.
A 21 would normally be a miss. However, in this case, thanks to the flat-footed condition, it is a hit. With minimum damage.
3 damage. Fantastic.
3 damage.
Third action will be reloading strike.
19. Now, is it flat-footed for the strike because of any of your features?
I would be flat-footed to my melee attack, yeah.
Because of the flat-footed condition, again, it stacks and this becomes like a hit.
Oh, I thought it was already flat-footed, that's why I didn't say anything.
It was just for the strike, so I toggled it off, but then
Yeah, no,
it made the difference.
Yeah, my sword and pistol feat would
Yeah.
make it.
I should have left it on there.
All right, so that is a little better. 12 points of damage.
So 12 points of damage is enough to basically finish this thing off. So how does that look as you like punch it to death?
I'll shoot at its like eye, right? And as it's howling, I literally take my hand down its throat and rip out its spine.
Very.
That escalated quickly. Good lord.
Yep.
You technically you still have one more action, I believe.
Or I guess I wouldn't be able to rip it. I like pierce through the back of its throat with my hand.
I didn't realize we were playing Fist of the Ruby Phoenix.
Anything for your last action?
Last action, I would like to stride up to Hal, so I'm next to him for the next round.
Nolby is like ready to take the shot and like literally at like you can we see her like looking through the little scope like locked onto the creature, and as she's getting ready to take the shot, there's just a view of like Ruffy like punching through this thing's like eye socket out the back of its head and like ripping like part of its spine, and she's just like looks out of the thing up at Saruk and goes, "Holy shit! Did you see that? Just fucking punch that thing!"
Majagua.
Punch in the enemy.
Reloads gun.
But Hal, you are currently dying too. Would you please make me a death saving throw? Unless you have a hero point to cash in from chat in any way.
I do not.
If chat would like to save Hal right now, send a hero point in.
Nina, get your ass in the call. Save the spans.
It's fail.
6 of the fail, so you go to dying 3. Pretty close to death, I per se.
One more.
Yeah, one more away. Celesta kind of comes down next to Hal, drops the weapon, cradles him, and looks up at Ruffy like, I don't have a healer's kit. You got anything? But she has nothing she can do other than sort of cradle him. Saruk?
Well, I'm not sure I know. Up here on the nice and safe observation deck. Out of character, everyone remembered to get all those potions that Anita made and distribute them on the sheet, right?
About 5 elixirs of life.
Okay, so then I guess looks like there's nothing else bad moving. I think if we're still on initiative, I'll take the one action here to reload the Giselle. And then action the second, I guess, can I just scan the surrounds to see if there's anything else going on?
Yeah, give me an active perception check to see if there's anything else coming. Dirty 20. All right, looking off for the moment, it appears that there's no more of these shadows. There's nothing else that you can see currently following the ship.
Nolby, next time leave this thing loaded. You never know when whatever in the hells those are going to descend on us. Is there a fast way down?
Not really, boss. Kind of ladder is the only way to go unless you want to go. And she points to the side, and you can see that around the edge of the blimp, there is this haphazardly like stitched in rope ladder that you theoretically could try to like hang on and descend down towards the cabin.
Do it.
You know, it's
full
basically
plate
the
armor.
same as otherwise it's just down the ladder. It's a little easier to go down the ladder than up, a little quicker, but it's
I
still
am
quite
strong
a
enough to
trek.
have bought off my armor's check penalty now with the level up. So, like, if I were to take the sketch ladder, would it be like a straight down to where the rest of the team is?
You'd basically so it goes around the side. They're on this observation deck, so you'd basically be going down, and the ladder would sort of end right at the top of the second story, and you still would have to drop down off the ladder like one whole story to land on the observation deck. You'd still be like 15 feet above them at best.
Gotcha.
It's like an emergency sort of situation, sort of thing, you know?
Okay, so then last question before I end my turn. In a hypothetical universe where I needed to jump off the side of where I am and land where the team is that a thing that could be done?
Yeah, it's absolutely something that can be done. I think we're looking at probably like a 30-foot fall, but it's doable.
Gotcha. Okay, so then I think for my last action, it's weird how this works in combat, but if you'll run with the fiction, I think I'll start the 1 minute of reload the backpack ballista, fishing out from my backpack the next backpack ballista bolt and like screwing it together.
Yep, for sure, yeah. It's a little slower than reloading this ballista at the very least, but not by much.
Only 8 more turns. That's me though.
Perfect. Reffy.
Hal, you can't go quite yet. You said you had things you wanted to do afterwards. And I spend 1 action to take off my backpack. Second action to take out an elixir, minor elixir. Wait, how many actions is it to give it to him?
1.
1? Alright. Third action. Give him the elixir.
Okay. Yeah, so you go ahead and do that. Hal, you snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength there. 3 hit points, which is enough to bring you back from the brink of death, at least. At least you didn't roll a natural 1 on your death save. Let's just say that, right? So you wake up, Cradle, like you kind of like wake up. You're in Celeste's arms. Ruffy's sort of feeding this potion like down your throat, but you are no longer dying 3. You're just back to wounded 1, but you are sort of awake. No more creatures alive. There's like a dead creature with his head exploded lying next to you on the airship.
Hal comes awake and says, Angelique. And he looks around with his friends. What happened?
You're a creature of shadow. Figured it was too soon for you to walk towards the light.
Oh, so you're saying like the rust monster.
Something like that.
So much for a nice peaceful vacation. Well, at least for a day. And I'll wrap my arm around Celeste and say, take me back to the room.
At that point, like while you're still lying there, like having this moment, there's like heavy footsteps as Gattleby kind of comes through and like steps over you while you're lying there and you're in the arms, and kind of just like walks right over the top of you guys and like sidles back up to the bar where he was.
Can I trip him?
Oh, you can absolutely trip him. I don't even think there's a check needed for this nerdy dude to get tripped by Ruffy.
The paladin is up top side. I can't see this. This is your moment.
Yeah. Ruffy trips Vashon. Vashon sort of trips over your leg and sprawls, like falls into the side of the bar and like tumbles, and the like bar stool sort of, it's like bolted in place so it doesn't give. So it sort of smacks into him and he lands on the ground and like loses his breath and is looking up at you.
Oh, sorry. Didn't see you there, friend. You're so good at hiding.
Like he's got blood trickling out of his mouth. But he knows better than to pick a fight. He's seen what you can do. So he doesn't say anything.
As the bodies are laying.
Oh, yeah. Sits back up, wipes the blood off the back of his throat, and then yells, I need a drink!
Don't we fucking all?
So in that moment, there's like a huge sort of like grinding noise, and you guys hear like what sounds like it's really loud. It hurts everyone's ears. Nulby and Saruk up on the top, you look over and one of the engines off to the side, there's black smoke just pouring out of one of your engines.
Did we miss one?
Nobody's like, ah, shit, I don't know. Let's get down there, boss. And she's immediately hits the ladder and just does like one of those like firemen slide down the edge of the ladder to kind of run in.
Same right behind.
You look off the side, Ruffy and Hal. You guys can be making your way up to the room if you want. That's fine. But like one of your engines is out, and your ship is sort of like drifting in like lazy circles, just kind of in place at this point. You get back to like the where the engine rooms are, right? Gebben is over on one of the engine rooms. The smoke is pouring out of the other one, and it's hard to see like through the smoke. And you watch Saruk as Nolby like immediately just dives into the room through the smoke. It's wafting at it. It's like kind of hard to like breathe. Give me a perception check.
Alrighty, and Saruk's gonna run in right behind her. Cha. 17.
It's hard to make out what's going on. You get in there, and you step in, and then you feel that like what's happened is the solid floor gives way to like metal grating, and through the smoke it's hard to see. You kind of step forward, and it almost looks for like a second you almost step right off to like a plummeting fall, but you catch yourself, and like the goblins like, no, they put their hand on you. You didn't roll that bad to like walk off the edge, but you realize where this engine is. It's just like open sky down to like nothing, and like the thick black smoke pouring out. You're having trouble making sense of what's going on. You can hear the goblins are like chattering back and forth about something in the engine, and it takes some time, but as you're in there with them, they eventually get the like engine shut down. The smoke sort of stops, and you notice right in the center of one of your engines, there's a giant, not a giant, but there's a thick, heavy iron chain that's wrapped up in one of the engines, and it looks like it's like jammed up your engine.
How the fuck did that happen? And Saruk is gonna try to make his way over. Is it safe? Can I pull it out?
Yeah, they tell you can go ahead and pull it out. It's not too hard. You just got to be careful not to like fall into the open air, but you're able to like get like kind of untangle it. It takes, quite a bit. It's mostly like a time thing, and it's not like a quick just yank, but you're able to sort of work out how to get it out, working with the goblins. And they're like, shit, I don't know, boss. I mean, Goblin's like, this is your engine. And Nolby's like, we were in the ballista. He said I was the one to go. And
fighting is not going to get us anywhere, you two. And I'm just going to like look down at the chain. Is it like literally just a chain? Oopsie, the car broke down, or a chain like chain shot? Like someone put this in here.
First, give me a perception check. I will tell you that it looks like it's definitely not like a chain shot. It's not like it was attached to a arrow or anything like that. It just looks like a very, very standard iron link chain, kind of, which is not super uncommon in like Alkenstar. Yeah, you're not able, despite your best efforts, you're not able to stifle the fighting between the two for long as they start arguing over whose fault it is. Like, you should have been watching. I was up top. He's like, it's your engine. It's your job. I'm telling the boss it's your fault.
I don't care which one of you it is. Go get the girl who's been with the giant robot. We can fix this.
We got it, boss. Don't worry.
Okay, then stop fucking arguing and help me. Please.
Give me a diplomacy check.
I feel like this is a no cause for alarm moment, because it feels like when the ship is going to go down.
Luckily, it doesn't feel like, especially with the way the ship is designed, this isn't like making you guys like plummet to the earth or anything. Ooh, natural 20, nice. With that natural 20, you are able to sort of cause them to put their like arguing aside for a bit and get the job done. And you can help them like clear out all the chain. You can help them get it repaired. It's going to get you back on faster than you would normally have them bickering. You're not in danger of crashing in any way. The airship is still floating fine. There's no damage, as far as you can tell, to the integrity of the hull or any of the sort of gas-filled pockets in the blimp. It's just the propulsion engine seems to have stopped moving, causing you guys to just drift in circles, not able to get to your destination. And so they shut off the other engine, and you guys are able to start working at getting it fixed under your supervision, and you're stopping these two half-siblings from like being at each other's throats.
Yes, you do. And then while I'm in here, can I like give this thing a quick once over and see exactly how much duct tape is holding this thing that's helping me defy gravity together?
Yeah, you could probably give me like a crafting check or a engineering lore check if you have one.
I'm not a needed good, but I'm sure good. 28.
28. Looking through it, it appears that despite the fact that the ship itself seems pretty run down, you're actually pretty impressed with the integrity of the engine and how well it's kept together. You don't spot, it doesn't look like this thing is like duct tape and bolts and 1 minute away from like breaking. And it's odd that this would happen. In your opinion, it was not due to negligence. This seems intentional.
And so the goblin who wasn't with me, this is my Steve impression. I can't remember the names of the goblins because they are not sticking. What was their name?
Nelbin.
Nelbin. And
Nelbin's the one that was with you.
Gotcha. I thought it was with Nolby. Nolby was with me, and Gelbin was here.
Yeah, Gebin was the other one.
Gebin, who was in here during the encounter?
Just us three, boss.
Us three, as in the 3 people who are standing here currently, because 2 of us were up here.
Yeah, it would be you. I mean, I didn't see anyone else. I was in that engine room, keeping things running smooth.
So it was just you in the room, and then it broke.
I don't like what you're insinuating, but yes.
What I'm insinuating is this ship is marvelously well put together, and I don't think it just fell apart. Is there something you're not telling me? Hang on, don't reply in character. I have a feat.
Isn't there 2 rooms?
There is, yeah. There's 2 separate engines, one on each side of the ship. So he was in one room working on one. The one he wasn't in is the one that got broke.
Oh, okay. Because I just asked who was in this room, and he said he was in this room, which should imply that he was in this room, and then it broke.
Yeah, no. What he's saying is he was in the other room working on that engine. This engine was unmanned because Nolby, who's supposed to take care of it, was up with you, which is the cause of their fighting.
Okay. I see. Never mind. Pretend I didn't say that. I don't need to ask a pointed question because I no longer think this man's broke the engine.
Got it. Okay. Downstairs, right? Like Hal and Refi, like this engine blowing hasn't escaped the notice of the captain, who's immediately like come stumbling out to see like what's going on, and comes in and is very impressed when she arrives that the goblins are working together without being at each other's throats. And you guys are making good progress. And she's like, I must ask Saruk, how'd you do it?
Do what? Shoot flying monsters? Well,
No, keep these 2 from getting at each other's throats.
To be honest with you, I spent several months hanging out with that bastard. I nod towards Refi, and I feel like I'm very trained to babysit now.
Well, pretty impressive, but which one do I got to fire for breaking my ship?
Neither of them. The engine that went down, and then I produced the chain. This was hung up in it. You don't think this fell out anywhere and then just happened to oopsie its way into the propeller, do you? Rhetorical question. Of course you don't.
Yeah, she looks at the chain. She looks at Gelbin. She looks at Gebin and Nolby, and looks back at you.
You don't need to fire anyone, but I do think you need to have a frank question internally about the people who you've hired, because this reeks of sabotage.
Indeed.
Unless, of course, you think your ship is falling apart as it's going through the air, and I don't think how do you frame it? The fairest airship this side of Smokeside? Not the thing, is it?
Let me ask you, Saruk. Where were you during all of this?
I nod generally upward.
Got an alibi?
I look over to the goblin who was with me and nod at them. What were we doing during the fight with the flying wolf things?
Well, I was loading that thing over and over, and he was they were like shooting their backpack thing at this creature, and they got, boss, don't worry. He's good.
And then I tap the badge. This badge says I don't lie to people.
I believe you. But I'll tell you something. Someone on this ship's a saboteur. Let me ask you something, Nolby. When you guys came up here, did you lock the door behind you? You guys are like, she looks, no, we were kind of in a rush. Door was left wide open. So what you're saying is, anyone on this cabin could have had access to this room. There's a reason we have locked doors. I'm docking you 1 day's pay.
Look, just get everybody, bring them to the observation deck. My companions and I can conduct an interview. We'll figure it out. She just did what she needed to do in the moment. It's more than reasonable to leave a door unlocked, if you're on the top of a ship manning a ballista and suddenly maybe someone's sibling might have to sprint across a ship to fix the other engine, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're supposed to be running this with at least 8 crew. You got 3 of us, boss. Like, what are we supposed to do? She's like, no excuses. Get it done. And she leaves. But she leaves it to you. She says, if you wanna root out the saboteur, I know my crew's safe. I'm guessing it was one of those passengers you brought along.
Do I think that the crew is safe?
Give me a secret perception / sense motive of the situation. I mean, motive. I guess, are you asking just in general, do you think the crew is safe?
Yeah, I feel like I've talked to a lot of people. I feel like I might be able to then retroactively use that big brain Saruk has. Wouldn't you know it? I rolled question marks.
Question marks, nice. I think as you roll your question marks and you rack your brain about whether you trust the crew implicitly or not, I think the answer is no. Given the situation and given that most of the people that you brought on this ship, Saruk, wouldn't have known how this thing even worked in the first place, your suspicions are that it's probably an inside job. You think somebody within the crew is more than meets the eye. Someone's up to something. For sure. As to who it is, you're not sure. The only one you know it wasn't is Nolby. But your gut tells you somebody knows their way around the ship and somebody put that chain in there on purpose. Somebody that was unaccounted for during the skirmish.
So then I think as fair as leaving, Captain, please ask the entire crew and passengers to meet on the observation deck in 5 minutes.
So as Ruffy and Hal are sort of like limping back to bed, Farrah comes across you guys. Big one says, observation deck, 5 minutes. We'll be back on course within an hour. Lucky's like hiding in his bedroom and he's like under the covers. Yes, boss. Dinner. While we sort this out. And then he makes his way, sure, out of his cabin over to like the kitchen area on the second floor. And he begins to whip up a dinner for everyone while everything is sorted and you can sit down and sort of interrogate everyone to your heart's content.
Man, this is the Orient Express. Damn it, we were making jokes about that.
You weren't too far off.
Can I take a look at Lucky as he's passing by?
Sure. What are you looking for?
How's he looking? What does his hands look like?
Sure. Yeah. Give me a perception check.
What do you know? I rolled question marks.
Wow, holy shit.
Nice. Question marks again. As you see him making his way from his bedroom over towards the kitchen area, it's very subtle. Very subtle. But you notice within like a spot just under, like on the inside of his hand that he's kind of like covering, there is both a spot of like dark smudge grease, as well as what looks like almost like a small cut on the palm of his hand.
Before he gets too far, I'll say, Captain, I believe my companion Saruk asked for everybody on the deck. Maybe dinner can wait.
Can't we do it all at once? I
think we should get everyone there first.
VIPs are the fucking worst. I know why I retired now. First the questions, then the dinner. And slowly everyone's sort of poking their heads out of their rooms. Gattleby's at the bar waiting for Lucky to come bring him a drink still. Celeste is out there. I guess the only people that are in the bars are the two siblings. that have been in their room this whole time, and like they're like, "Is it safe? Are we safe now?" There's sort of the shot of like everyone gathering in the observation deck, everyone flying into the booth. Everyone except for Anita at this point, who is still not there. So one of you can go up and retrieve her from her room.
It wouldn't have been Anita. She's too good. She's too soft-hearted and hasn't had anything bad happen to her recently that might cause a big character arc, big character development.
But as one of you does that, and as everyone gathers in the observation deck for a series of questioning, that is where we're going to end tonight's session, tonight's stream. Welcome to Murder on the Orient. I guess it's not murder. Welcome to Sabotage on the Orient Express. Sabotage on the Second Kiss. Somebody here is definitely trying to mess with you guys.
It's just another fucking Tuesday.
But that is going to do it for us on this session. Congratulations on surviving. Got to dying 3 for Hal. That was pretty close. Double crit, by the way. Double nat 20'd.
Yeah. Jeez.
Welcome to being up front.
This is the scaled down version of the fight too, because there was.
You took like what? How many hit points do you have?
73.
You only took about that much damage, right? Just barely.
Yep, 32, 34, and 14.
Yeah, so it was definitely, you almost could take that. It was pretty close, but double crit is definitely not normally what you expect. Double natural 20s.
We've seen it before, Steve.
Yeah, except from you, Steve.
That is 100% true. I'm sorry I almost killed Hal. At least it was exciting.
This is true.
Yeah, that's going to do it for us this week in Alkenstar. Big thanks to Richard, Ricardo, Tommy for playing with me. It's been a fun session with you guys as usual. Shout outs to Ninna out there. Hopefully everything's going good with you, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the plan is that she will be back and available next week's session. So let's hope that works out. We don't have to play sans Ninna again. But there's one other person I have to give a huge shout out to. That is our patrons who support us on Patreon. We're coming into like a new month. Tomorrow's the 1st. All the patrons make what is possible, including a new patron who actually just signed up today. Big shout out. So I'll get their names as you come by. But if you want to support us and what we do, head on over to patreon.com/recallknowledge. You can get some behind the scenes look at some of our upcoming content and early releases before they hit YouTube. Big thanks at this point to David Sims, Jason Irvin, Mark Paquette, Awal Jalil, Derek Southworth, Ellie Boyle, Jay, Paul G, the new Patreon as of today, Sandra Wagner, and Sam Skaggs. You guys are all awesome and amazing, and are responsible for what we're doing for you guys here. So thank you. And honestly, besides being able to see all the cool stuff that we tease you with, and the map pack, there's a new map pack coming out possibly next week, right, Rick?
That is correct. Not possibly. Definitely.
They're ready to go for next week?
Yep.
That's what we were talking about that before. So there is going to be some cool Spellscar Desert themed maps coming your way. So if you're running Alkenstar and you want to do some more side quest stuff in the Spellscar Desert, or you're just running a game and want some desert maps, Rick's got you covered. They look really awesome, and we'll get them to you guys next week. And besides all the cool stuff you get, your support just goes a long way to helping us and making what we do possible. So thank you. Big thanks to Molten Hosting for sponsoring the show tonight, providing our server hosting, making it so easy, and giving us a Christmas holiday movie coming down the pipeline. That's another amazing thing. Check them out at moltenhosting.com and use that code RecallKnowledge.
One word.
And your first month of service is for free. Tommy, what you got going on? Tell the world.
I got a lot. First things first, I just want to give a big shout out to our High Imperial Lord Elon Musk for not shooting from orbit Recall Knowledge's Twitter for daring to mock his shitty fucking presence. Hi, my name is Tommy. I do a bunch of nerd shit on the internet called Black Dragon Gaming. There's a link to all of my stuff. I am a professional dungeon master. I run 1E2E and basically anything else anybody wants to get up to. I am still picking through all of the things. I'm working with Eldritch Osiris for the kickstarted scrolling through Discord to get all of the things. Monstrous Beasts, a guide to friend them, which, as I understand it, is getting a bunch of other people from rewards getting checked off, like stapled to the project. So if you're someone who likes nature-themed archetypes, monstrous companions, and, you know, hashtag green faith, it's for you. I make YouTube videos about the lore of this game that we're playing, and when Lost Omens Impossible Lands came out, there's always this fire under my ass when that yearly big lore book comes out. It's like, all right, I'm going to make so much content, and I'm kind of just running through the new ancestries and the new deities, like, alphabetically. At this point, this week was Aranzadi, the neutral good god of like flowers and scent, and like alchemists who don't want to blow shit up. And then in 2 days, there's a video about the how to describe the Goran. It's like Soylent Green was people, but then it got a little bit better. And I've been playing this game since Winnie, so it's like, oh, okay, this is something that existed in the back of a book, and it was like, here's a small paragraph. Plant people, and now they've got like, here's all of the lore of all of the things. It's really fucking exciting.
Yeah, the book has all kinds of stuff. Now, how much of the lore that you're doing is brand new, and how much of it is just expanding stuff that's been around for a while?
So, fun fact, I talk about this on Friday, but I'm gonna pop it up. The Goran in Pathfinder First Edition, they had a drawback that was like, because they were, here are spoilers if you haven't read it. The Goran were originally made for if you live in the Mana Wastes. Oh God, how are we going to eat? Oops, we don't like lizard tails and we can't grow crops here. There was a renegade druid that tried to make like a superfood, and then that superfood got sentience. And in 1E, they take a drawback, or like it's like a -1 on grapple checks or something, like, because they taste good. Which was a weird intersection of rules. And like, I don't know if every wolf thinks the plant tastes good, and they like used to be, you could like full round action pull their seed out, plant it, and then you'd have like a soft respawn point. Now it's over like 10 years or something, like, so there's, I talk a lot about the like, here's how this was good, here's why this was really game breakingly bad, and here's how we're doing it now. And that kind of goes for like the Venara were reprinted, the Vishkanya were reprinted, the Nagaji were reprinted. There's a lot, and there are a lot of changes, and all of the changes feel just like straight up for the better. Like I said, there's a big fire under my ass to content. We're creating it now.
Like 20 years of game design knowledge under their belt, they're improving what they've done. That's how it works. It always iterates and gets better. And Impossible Lands as a book is amazing too. Just just for reading it as a lore book and not using it for the game mechanics, because it outlines like a lot of this land where we've been spending so much time in here in Alkenstar. So it's definitely a book worth picking up if you're interested in the Impossible Lands, the Mana Waste, or anything like that.
There's art at the beginning of the next chapter. That's the old iconic psychic and a Dwemer cat, and they're having tea together. Do you know what I'm talking about, Steve? Big leopard and psychic, and that's become like the left side of the cut from the book is like this, that's left monitor, and then Ravani is the right monitor. It's good shit.
So that video is coming Friday, and there's more that's already out there. So go check out Black Dragon Gaming. Gets all that cool content. Drop them a subscribe, right? Just like you're subscribed to us on YouTube right now.
That's how we continue to make all of this dumb content on the internet for you, with the power of you press the serotonin button and we live.
Yeah, and if you don't want to search it, just click the link in the description down below, and that'll take you right to the YouTube channel as well.
Yeah. And my
any
Twitter
other
and my Patreon and
Twitter, everything. Yeah, it's all there.
I think I want to say also, A, I missed playing with you guys. You guys are super fun, and like it feels like y'all always bring it. And B, today was like the perfect, like the thesis statement of Pathfinder 2nd Edition is we all have to work together to do good. It's like, okay, bam, now you're flat-footed. Bam, now you're flat-footed to my next attack. And it was like I could see the chain going off as it went there, and this is cool.
Also, I think this was the first 5th level fight we've done, and while you're still getting used to some of the features that A, we haven't used yet, and B, it's been 3 weeks, so you're a little off, you could see that for sure, right? Shared stratagem causing a flat-footed, causing the hit, which made the follow-up hit, which made everything fall into place, and being able to do the knockdown with Hal to knock the creature down, and then get the opportunity attack as it stands up. Like, these higher level feats, you guys are definitely, the puzzle's coming together. I'm seeing it kind of coming together, and Now I'm just going to have to up the stakes and hit you with natural 20s every
3
week.
natural 20s instead
It'll
of
be
2.
real sad when Anita
Yeah,
gets
3
back
natural
and
checks.
Wybert just straight up can't fit anywhere. That's not the observation deck.
Wybert, you stay here. Aww.
Sad Wybert noises.
We're going to be back for more Outlaws of Alkenstar action next Wednesday, December 7th. Is that right? I guess it is.
Yeah, it is.
December 7th.
Already.
It's already December. Man, we're coming up soon. At 7 o'clock Pacific, or PM Pacific, as we continue our airship journey and figure out if we can find who the saboteur is before we reach Cloudreaver Keep and continue our journey towards the Cradle of Quartz. Like we said, we're expecting Nina back for the episode, so fingers crossed that all works out. Until then, everyone, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay away from Elon Musk, and goodbye. Good night. Good night.
You must agree to be hardcore in Pathfinder 2e. If you do